it's going to be an interactive session. So, come down. It's going to be very simple. Yeah. So, the major topics of discussion today, we are going to tackle pressure and stress, and then we are going to sum it all up with, let's say, the favorite topic of all young men, relationships. And yeah, welcome. And maybe we can start by a small definition of each and everything, and which is going to be done with our brother and our facilitator, Mr. Ebenezer. Welcome.
Yes, once again, good morning. Mr. Thank you for the ambus. But for me now, stress from the, let me put it from the youth point of view. For me, stress is when I have a lot of things which are piling up or traffic in my way and I need to clear them out. I think that brings me some uncertainty and some anxiety which I can call stress. Whereby you don't know, for example, let me use this example. You have a meeting to attend, you have a cut tomorrow, you have an assignment to do, and you don't have supper, and the landlord is there. If you have these things, all of them, I think that can cause some immediate and sharp stress. Whereby, people ask you, are you okay? But you feel you are not okay. So I think from that simple discussion, a simple explanation, that is what stress is. That is stress. Now, and then stress with pressure comes in the same way. And then for we young people, we don't need to, I don't think if you have pressure. Pressure, I think it's an accumulation of the stress and in a old age. Whereby, you are an old man, you look at your families, all your children are not going right, and it causes hypertension, and it's a disease for the elderly. It's a lifestyle disease for the elderly. So it will be abnormal when you come to me and tell me you have hypertension. Itashanga, what is it? So that is the credit of pressure for me. Now for relationship, also and you have better definitions than I have. But now my definition of relationship is, you getting that one person whom you can confide in, as my brother said, a confidant, and someone who knows you at your best and at your worst, and accommodates you, and through the two of you have a goal to walk through into the future and come up with a family which shall serve the Lord. I think I'm clear. Thank you.
Yeah, then I would appreciate it. So back to my panel members, it is my desire to hear from our friend and brother, Mr. Theophilus. What can you say about pressure? What do you understand by pressure, by stress? Also when we put it in the setup of the congregation that we're having, what do you understand by the terminology, pressure and stress?
Praise the Lord. I normally don't just being this serious. I am not a very serious person. So, can I turn on? Should I stand? Now, this word is what my brothers defined as stress. It's a feeling of uncertainty. It's a place you find yourself that you're not able to really figure out what you're supposed to do instantaneously. Because if you have a cut in the next 30 minutes and you've not started, utakuwa na stress, na pressure nyingi sana. If you seated here right now and you know very well that you don't have money and the landlord is angry, this will not, no matter how much you love, you still have pressure and stress. The only point that I might agree and differ with him is, today the society that we live in, pressure and depression is not a disease for the old men. It's a disease that is affecting us today and now, and it's amongst ourselves. So, in short, I can say what? Stress is something that everyone will experience in a normal day. It happens to all of us. It is nothing new. what is not new is I would want to add another one called depression. If you have stress for 1 year, that's okay. But if stress extends for 2 weeks, you have a problem. And then is when you need assistance and help. So I hope I have defined what you're saying.
Next question is about the effects. If I choose to just forget that I'm actually stressed and not curb it and just live life like nothing happened. Yes, I'm stressed, but I don't want to do anything about it. I'm just there. I'm not confiding in someone. I'm not confiding in a friend or someone that is stressful. What are the effects of that?
Am I answering?
Yeah.
Really, my wife would have answered that. But let me start off, then she will take it over from where I leave. I think she has a different definition of stress from what I have. And I will also really love to hear what she has to say about that. But what are the effects of stress?
Yeah, I'm not doing anything. Yes, I'm stressed.
You're stressed, but you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Then I say you'll continue being stressed. It's like you're angry and you're not doing anything about it. You continue being angry. Or what do you think? If I wake up in the morning, niko na njaa, niseme by the way niko na njaa. Ukae tu after 1 hour useme by the way niko na njaa. Na huko tu. You're not doing anything about it. You're not waking up and walking to any place. What will happen at the end of the day? So if you wake up today and you have stress, you don't want to think about it, you don't want to talk about it, you don't want to do anything about it. At the end of the day, itaisha kama uko na stress zaidi. Sababu utakuwa na stress na umeharibu siku mzima na hujafanya kitu yoyote. So the day will still end na uko na stress. Sawa. So by you not doing anything about it, you are not helping yourself, you are not doing a thing. Uko na status quo yenye itaendelea na kukaa venye iko until you start doing something. That was the question. Now you're asking me.
More of the mental illnesses that come about stress. Yeah.
Maybe she has something to say about that.
Praise God. Yeah, we don't need to be so serious. These are life issues. They affect us each and every day, and that is why we need to talk about them. And when at times I really don't like using head knowledge, it's better we share experiences. When I talk about my life and what stress, depression can do, it's easier for you to relate with the same scenario. Yeah, so one of the effects of stress and depression that is undealt with is suicidal thoughts. It is possible when you are under pressure, when you undergo some of these things that you are talking about, you can think of doing away with your life. Using an example of myself, that was 2017-2018, I was already working, and my parents were very sick. I used to begin with my mom. She had cancer of the bone marrow, and she struggled. 2017 February, she passed away in my hands. I was the caretaker. I was working in a national school, so there is pressure at work, in the house, in the hostel. I'm the same person doing such things. After she passed on, 2017, my dad was sick, the same cancer. And he passed on 2018, October 2nd, still in my hands. The same person supposed to work, the same person who has the family, the same person who is supposed to be the caretaker of the parent. 3 weeks later, my brother passed on. This is the same person who is supposed to take care of my brother, to work, and to do all those things. What do you expect? I was going through depression and I didn't know it. I didn't know. Normally you don't know whether you have a problem, as she was saying. So it is possible you can be walking while you are dead and you don't know that there is something wrong. So that time my friends identified that something is wrong with me. I had reached a point where nothing makes sense. You know, you say something serious, something small, vitu vyote ni sawa, they are equal. You tell me you do something, hiyo tu. Nothing made sense at that time because what is the worst I've ever seen? If it is death, it has happened. If it's pressure at work, it has happened. What else? So one of the things you, stress and depression can do to you is that you can have suicidal thoughts. You can think of doing away with your life. Why? What else makes sense? That you've tried your best. It is, yes, God has blessed you. You have a job, well-paid, right. You have a good family, right. But all the other things are not happening. Then you are forced to ask a lot of questions. Why me? Why my family? Why not somebody else? So one of the things that stress, depression can bring is suicidal thoughts. Another thing that it can bring is sicknesses and infirmities, of course. Ulcers were part of me. That is 2016, 2017, it was hectic. Actually, I was operating from Mosto. Thank God, 2018, my husband was working at Nairobi. So for me, that was a bonga point. It was giving me an advantage. So I operate from Mosto. I take care of my parents in the morning. I have to go to the house, take a shower, go back to school. So one of the things that I was fighting with was ulcers. I was forever in hospitals. And at some point I was told I'm anemic. From nowhere. You know, you go to hospitals, wanajaribu kutafuta shida, haipatikani, and I didn't know that I was stressed because like nothing was adding up, and I was that person, no ile fun kama mtu. So like, amekufa, sawa. So I'm there, and I was that person out of here, like, I don't like crying in public. So they are the strong ones. I stand for the family, I'm encouraging them, you know, reading a lot of verses that are not making sense. But when I go back now, when I'm alone, at that point, everything is coming back to me. So at the end of the day, I'm scared too. I was in class teaching after class. Dizziness was stopped. No disease, no nothing. And at that time, you know, you can do up to 4 or 5 days without eating anything. It's possible, and you're okay, you're walking, and like somebody can be talking to you now, skin. Was that one meant for me? Like I remember there is a time I had not submitted marks. Of course, being a national school, I was told to show coursework. So I said I will not write the letter. I walked to the principal, and she was like, this and this has not been done. Why? And I told her, you know what? First, you have to calm down. I hate it when somebody is making noise at me. Now I'm talking to my principal, and I'm like, you are making noise to me. So, of course, being a lady, and void. So, I walked out of her. I went, after some time I came back. I told him, Madam, I'm one person. When you begin talking to me, I will not listen to you because already I've switched off. It is not making sense to me. So I left that office and I told her, later, you know what, when I sober up, I will come. So I go, I worked in the marks, then I went later. I told him, I'm sorry for what happened, but for me, you don't handle me that way. So if there is a problem, just find the best ways you can talk to me, but not asking me 101 questions, and I'm one person, and you're expecting me to answer all those. I can't. Number two, if you expect me to work with you well, so you don't talk negative to me. Like in life, I've had all the negatives. So to you, immediately you begin, I just switch off. And we agreed, so we struck a deal with her. So currently, she knows how to handle me. So akiona nimepoint, hata yeye anakuja chini, then later she's like, okay, now Madam Osano, can we talk? Yes, madam. Now we can talk. So sickness, infirmity, it is normal. It is with us and you can never know. So maybe somebody else will add something before I continue.
I think there's something that is coming up, the queer character or the queer actions that happens when someone is stressed. I think I remember sometime in Canada, there was some stress on the finances. I think to all three of us, we are going to school and school fees was needed. I think it caused some mental issues. Whereby he's going to the bank to pay the school fees, and he has forgotten the documents and everything, and he reaches there, he calls my mom. My mom is like, well, ulikuwa wapi, unaacha vitu hapa. So some of these are some characters that come up due to the stress, and maybe if we can hear from the congregation also some of how they behave with their own situations. Like, kama hizo kati imefika, hauna unga, such like this.
Yeah, maybe before we get it from you, Madam Naomi here was going through all that, right? And they were married, or maybe they were in a relationship with Mr. Theophilus. When Naomi was going through all this, Mr. Theophilus, tell us, how was it? How you managed it? How was it?
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. I know all of you are interested to know. Well, one thing is when I left campus in 2013, I started working. I went to Nairobi, did some few businesses in Nairobi. They didn't work, some worked. Then I got a job in Cooperative Bank. I came back to DC in 2013 August. So I don't want to go to a story of how we met and what happened. I know you are going to ask about that one later. So one of the time I knew her, she was actually looking for funds to do a CT scan ya kichwa. Sababu ameenda hospitali na hakuna kitu inaonekana. She goes to an hospital and then the doctor is wondering, why are you even walking? A person in your state is supposed to be dead. Because normally, the normal blood pressure for a human being is supposed to be 12 to 14. And she was fine to have it is called
HB
is what?
It's
It's called a hemoglobin level. I don't even know what from where I come from, some words tend to disappear from the mouth. So, you have a level of 4. Even when you're in the coast, you can't walk with 4. You're supposed to be dead. But she was walking around. Anyway, it was crazy. So, it's time that uko job, and somebody anakwambia, hebu come hapa hivi market. Now what is this? How market unapata akianguka market? You see, for you it's like, it gives you a state of uncertainty. You do not know. So sometimes you leave work, then you have to go to the house, sababu nguvu ako nayo ni ya kupanda stairs, aingie kwa nyumba, aoge alafu alale. So if you don't go to the house, they are not going to eat. So you ask me how it was, can't really put it in words, you can't quantify it, because there is that part you let a person grieve to release the stress in them. But there is that time you just need to be there, sit down and do nothing. Don't talk to them, just listen. When they want to talk, let them talk. If they want to keep quiet, just keep quiet. Because the worst thing that you'll ever do to your friend is you kuja kwake na umwambia, you know what you're going to do. Ukikuja kwake na umwambia, I hope nitakupea mambo kadhaa. Because you can never ever understand what I am going to do. The only thing you can do, you can relate to that what is happening. But you need to, what I was going through my mind was like, that moment you sit and you're waiting for the next phone, you don't know what it's going to be. Because it is training you emotionally, physically, financially, and so many other things. So it's that time that you just become the understanding friend that everyone needs. Who won't ask you why you are doing something, and who won't question your stupid decisions. Praise Jesus. Najua wengi wetu hatuna watu kama hao. Mwenye atakuja tu kwako anaona ukifanya kitu ujinga na wachane na wewe. Not because he can't tell you something, but he understands you need to do that to release the pressure in your head. Praise Jesus. It is not being he or she mbaya. It's just the normal thing to do. And I don't want to say that we are more perfect than you. We struggle through these things. We just need to figure out a way to let it go. If you have that good friend of yours, a brother or a girlfriend or something that is going through something, don't be the judging character. They will run away from you. And you start wondering what you did. It is not what you did. It is what they needed that you never provided. Praise Jesus. And I think that is what the Bible calls us to be. What I need, you should be in a position as a good friend to provide. Not unless we live around in campus like investors. See, I work in the banking industry. And when somebody works in the bank, he's not interested in what you are interested in. He's interested in how he can add his money in his pocket. So whether you are away or you are there, you do his business. But in the setup that we are right now as Christians, I believe we're meeting first years and second years? Yes. Yes. There is an older group than the one that you are in. They have done things that you have not yet done. So don't feel like, the second years, don't be the big brother. How many are firstborns? Nani hapa kwa firstborns? Haya, hii rudisheni chini, hamwezi elewa hiyo. Hao wengine, si sisi wengine wote. Nani anajuanga kazi ya big brother? Ni kama tu anakutupia macho, unajua ushakosa. Praise God. Let us just be, I say, I don't like serious conversations. I just like, life is already serious enough. Think of this, she has where she has to teach. She has a dad who is in hospital and her mom was in the house, really in pain. Then she has pressure from her. Then I decide to be the big brother. Unafikiria tutapatana? Hata kama ni mapenzi kwa chika kwa. Sindio? Because you have to be human enough. Don't live like you come from the moon every morning. Tuko na hizo vitu, tuko na hizo mafeelings hata sisi. So the thing is you try to be understanding. I was feeling I can't really explain. I don't know whether it's sadness or I don't know what I was feeling. The day was just moving like somehow.
Yeah, Mr. Teofila says he doesn't know how he was understanding. He doesn't know how he was feeling. Now maybe we can get some two people from the conference. Tell us, what were you going through when you were under the pressure, under the stress? Someone just put the hand up and give us one of the experiences. Yes?
Okay, praise God. I would just like, very simple story. It's a very simple story. It's a very simple story. I remember I think I was in Form 2. Yeah. That time, after now in Form 1, when I was still in Class 8, my dad passed on. You know, all that feeling, you're like, you're very young. Now you are the firstborn there. When you're mkubwa kushinda watu wengine wote, and now they are looking up to you, you know. The Bible days there, and they're waiting for you to speak something, you know, to say you want to recite that theology. It was very hard that time. But now that time, I was like, you're stressed. You don't know what you're going to say because you're already told you should speak. And apart from that, you're trying to be strong for other people. Like, my mom was really crying. my sister was worse. All the other people were worse. Now I was the one who was trying to like be calm woman. Like, you know, you just have to be strong. But now, that's time when you are like really seeing that now in a equal, it was really painful. So, and from that, then it came like in 2016, I think. Yeah. 2016, somehow my mom got into another relationship and all that. But now I was not for that idea, you get, because I took responsibility and I told my mom, like, you know, even though dad died, I'm still here. Like, I can be. You understand me? Yeah. So that time it happened that now this other guy was there, and when he came into our home, I was in boarding school. Now when I came from school to this long holidays for 1 month, I found him at home. I was like, okay, what is happening here? I asked my mom, who is he? Alisema tu ati, oh, he's my friend, and all that, you know. And I was like, Mom, what happened? Why didn't you even tell me? And he just account, you know. Okay, you know, for me, I've been like raised in a family where, like, when someone wants to do something, you speak it out, so that the whole family knows. But now this one was not even spoken out. I went back to school. Nilikuwa akinipigia simu, I refused to pick the call. Alikuwa anapigia mwalimu, nakataa kuongea naye. Because I was stressed, I was like feeling like I just think we are okay without that other person. But now pressure came in, actually, for real. I went home for that holiday and I was like, you know, he was there telling me like, you know, you should do this, you should do this. I was like, what is this guy telling me? I've been studying all through. But you have to tell me like nafanya some. And you know, he's telling me like, you know, you're at home. I managed to kiwa nyumbani uamke dawn, and I'm like, okay. So niamke shule 3, nikuje home niamke 3. What do you mean? It's not adding up. So whether it's like he came and he was like dictating.
Big brand.
Yeah, the big brand. So that's it gave me pressure. For him, I had pressure, and I was sick one as a good, even though meaning to have a but that time I was not able to eat. I was taken to hospital. My mom wanted to take me to hospital in Kakata and lose my leg. I was like angry. The pressure was actually amazing. Sometimes you cannot speak clearly. Any beauty will go to you. So
Yeah, then we can give him a round of applause.
Yeah, there's this time when I was in comfort, and when I was in comfort, I was so much stressed. Yeah, this is what happened. My 2 parents were not equal. Si munaelewa hiyo? They were different, and we were living with my mom. Then nikiwa shule nilikuwa na feel balance, then kuja kuambia huyu ananituma kwa huyu ananituma kwa huyu. So I tell my mom, she tells me go to your dad. I tell dad, ananiambia kuambia mamangu. So much stressed. I was like, what is this happening? Then I tried to communicate to my brother, my big brother now. Then he's like, he's not feeling anything for me. Hataki kujua what is happening. He just comes and tells me, oh, utajua venye utafanya, nishalijua yote. Then I was like, what kind of these people are telling me? Then hiyo time nikakuwa too much stressed, I got ulcers. So naenda hospitali na the first time this is amoeba. Napewa dawa za amoeba after 2 weeks. Zinakuwa narudi tena naambiwa it was a wrong medication, it's ulcers. So I go back, I take ulcers. Zikikaribia kuisha, after some time, 2 weeks hivi, I recover. After 2 weeks again, I'm still sick. I go back to the hospital na naambiwa ni anemia. So I have to take chupa mbili za hiyo ni anemia. I have to take fruits. I don't take some types of food. So napata, and then the diet nilikuwa na providiwa shule, it was so hard. So ni sukuma, then iko na acid, so you can't take this. Unapata ile iko shule, unakunywa dawa, then ukule hiyo food. Then after some time, nikaendelea tu kukua msiku. Unapata, so my body, I get so weak. I'm not taking food for about 2 weeks. Then you are just like, yes, you are okay, but you are not really okay. Then if you try to call one of your parents, they are not responding. You call them, they are not responding. Then bado for class, I have so many works to do. So like I'm here, I'm so much. At the end of this year, I have to get something to take me to the university. Then you are like, oh, what should I do? You have nothing to, after when you talk to your friends, when they are concentrating about all they are doing their work in school, go for group. And then I got naenda na Lazo hospitali na Rudi. Then I remember I have taken medicine from 2nd of Feb until December last year 2017, not every day. So nikikam zile dawa napaswa kutake, they are about they were that something tablets na hizo syrup. So I was thinking medicine na kunywa, then you have to go to class, you are feeling busy. Zingine unaambiwa kunywa unapaswa kulala tu. You have that time, so if there is pressure in the class, you have to do maths, you have to do physics, you have to do this and this. Then still you can communicate to no one is responding. Then I remember sometime when I was at home, we were in the same class with my brother. So when I pick home, I'm like my bro. Sijui hizi vitu kuna some things that are classes, some chapters, so I completely know nothing. Then I talked to my brother na mwambia hapa kuna vitu sijui hapo, like ni wewe na shida zako. You are in your own school, I'm doing my life alone. Utajua venye utafanya. I really don't care what is happening. They are not really understanding what you are going to do hata kama ukiwaambia. I was really so much stressed up, answers, kila kitu.
Yeah. Let's appreciate. How can we handle it? Tumekaa ngumu. Brother, kwa mtaka kula, no reach a level that so how can we handle these things in a godly and a healthy way? Maybe we can start from a panelist. You have the depression, you have the stress. You talked about such things. How can you manage them? How can you handle them? How can you fight them? How can you go through them in a godly and a healthy way, so that in the end of it all, you come out victorious? Maybe we could start from Madam Naomi after going all through this kangumu, Yeah. Now, for the rest of us, how can we go through it in a godly and a healthy way to ensure that we come out victorious?
Amen. Thank you for the opportunity. Maybe for me, what I did and what helped me most was fellowship. Fellowship. I think I had friends around, brethren who were around who understood me. They knew me as the introvert, and they knew I needed that personal space. Like, I loved to withdraw. It could reach a time where I just want to be alone. And that time, anybody who talks to me is interfering with my personal space. And that was the best thing to me. You interfere with that, you are my worst enemy. So that time I needed to be alone, and they understood me, so they could allow me. Just if it is in a day, they will give me the entire day just to be alone. And during that time, I could do write-ups. I could go to the mirror and speak to the mirror. I will tell the mirror all the bad things that the world has done to me. And then later on, every evening at this time, I would have 2-3 friends in my house just to be with me, to listen to me. And the tendency was that I'm expecting you to understand me. Even before I tell you, my expectation is you should be knowing that I don't have money and you give me the money. It's up to you to know. That was me. So fellowship helped me. And I challenge us, if we can have people around us to be accountable too, it will assist us a great deal. Fellowship. Another thing that helped me was prayer. Back at college, and still I serve in the intercessory ministry. And prayer could help me. The other day I was telling my friend, if we could have the audio prayers that we make to God, sometimes you cannot listen to yourself twice. That time you go to God and you are like, God, it is me again. And you are being sincere. time mambo tunaenda kwa CEO and you are like, Lord, I love you, I adore you, it's okay. But now, mwambie, what is the problem? God, it's me again, I'm stressed. And I need you to help me with this. I'm having strained relationship with my friends because of my stress. You know, I'm expecting them to know what I want. And honestly, you cannot know what somebody wants unless he or she speaks out. So you're like, prayer, God, it's me again. And tunahandle hiyo na Mungu tunamaliza. By the time I leave that place, I'm different. So I was this moment, that best person around. The next moment, yani mood ina change tu kama kulikuwa na switch. Nakaa tu tuko na wewe tunaongea poa and then all of a sudden I will withdraw. Utakuwa unaongea tu na wewe. By the time you realize siko, so fellowship, prayer. Another thing was identify your problem. Identify where it is and deal with it. Acha hii tabia ya kusema niko sawa. And brethren, tafadhali. Mtu akikwambia ako sawa, acha kuachia hapo. How are you? I'm good. You doing good? Sawa. And you think you are in a fellowship. It never works. If there is that person who could put up a plastic smile, it is me. Utakuja kwangu, utaongea, I'm doing well, job is good, my family is doing good. You know, God has done it all. But at that time, nimelala njaa 3 days. You know, it's me. You know, cancer drugs are very expensive. Yes, I'm paid well, but to manage these 2 patients, and then the supplements that they're supposed to take, the foods and everything. So utakuja tu tumekaa njaa 3 days. You know, my mother alikuwa anatumia diapers because the backbone ilikuwa imeharibika, so he's paralyzed. And there, yeah, we are doing good. God has been great. God is faithful. Hapo tumelala njaa, sina diaper. I cannot say it. Like the entire time, because my staff were not really close to me, nobody knew that I was going through those things. I came to them and later, after I lost my parents and my brother, that is when I opened up and said, you know what? But they these and these has been happening. They were so surprised. While at work, just mimi napambana na hali yangu. You know, I don't want to hear about your stories. But when you try to come to me, that plastic smile, I tell you how God has worked, how God provides, I'll explain to you. So tusiachie hapo mtu akituambia tunaendelea kwa try to know these people. So that was me, and that is why my best friend here, I think alijua hiyo, sijui nani alikwambia, so at least he could go a step higher to try to find out hiyo kwa yako yenye unasemanga, because like me forever nilikuwa poa from college. I'm good. You know, that person when you're there undergo the challenge, I'm good. So that thing will also help you identify the problem and deal with it. Find biblical counseling. That is found in Proverbs chapter 27 and verses 9. Proverbs 27 and verses 9. The godly counsel. You know, when you identify that one person, you know, today I'm going through this and this, and that person is not expected to charge you. I see you saying, oh, I understand. By the way, I hated that statement up to now. Never tell somebody that you understand what they are going through. If it is a widow, the only person who can understand is another widow. If it is an orphan, it's another orphan, not you. When you have both parents, you are enjoying life, and you are like, I know what you are going through. I understand. Avoid such statements. You can only cry with them. If it is crying, allow them to cry. If it is listening, just listen without charging and all that. So for me, those 4 things, they really helped me. That is fellowship, prayer, I identified my problem, and then, what else did I say? Yeah, around that, like there is that one person who can be doing hapa kumefika hivi. Even that time, umeenda hospitali na doka amesema, huyu hata make you receive, unaweka shock absorber. By the time, you know, I'm a last born in a family of 12. Regardless, having that burden with me, I also realized not every belief akona hiyo urge ya take care of the patient. So being the last born, will absorb your shock and you're like, okay, so how many days does he has to live? You are at 2 months, but you are there trying everything. So by the time they are taking the information, they are like, wanakuja wote nawaambia kidogo amesema as well, let's keep trying. And then that one person in the family namwambia nini, by the way, we have less than 2 weeks kujipanga, so that one person accountability. Maybe my husband can add 2 or 3 things that I might not have identified, but they helped me through the process.
Maybe Mr. Theophilus, you can give us what you think or a summary of how you can handle such things.
Praise God. Umeanza kuboeka. Umeanza kuboeka na mnaanza kuwa stress. Kwa nini? Hii maisha ni tamu sana. Wacha kufanya ikuwe serious. Praise Jesus. Just imagine if you wake up and everybody's mind is sad. How would this world look like? You just need people who are less serious, and life will be more sweeter to live. Praise Jesus. She has said prayer. She has said identify the problem. She has said fellowship. She has also said accountability. So, I want to say worship. How many remember the story of Nathan?
Yes.
No, these are Paul and Silas. I'm going to read that story. When you were at Sunday school. You remember? Walituangwa na wakawekwa gerezani. Si ndio? Wakiwa ndani walifanya nini? Wewe nikuulize ukituangwa na urudishwe gerezani utaiba? Because one of the things that you do is sometimes the pain in you can only go away when you change your focus to God. Sawa. Another thing is, other than worship, we need to ask for help. Why? You need that one friend who does not follow your instructions. How many have a friend like that? Whatever you tell them, they do the opposite. And they are good for you. They are annoying, but she knows she cannot tell me she is well, then I walk away. I can't walk away. How well I know? Because if there is one person who knows how to put a plastic smile, I'm one of them. I was here for 4 years. There is one friend of mine, 3. Alex Monene, Sylvia Minor, and Donna Akili. Donna is, I think she's still in focus. They could not accept I am well. No, that is not good enough. What is it? Praise Jesus. And Moses could not accept that is not okay until Jethro came. Na akaenda akamwangalia akamwambia Bwana, utakufa na utaniwachia wajukuu bila watu. And he told him, you know what? This work is going to kill you. And it's giving you pressure. Kawa, fair watu, zile ngumu wacha zikuje kwako. Sawa. So we need to accept that we need help and ask for it. Identify that one friend who won't judge you for whatever you are. Ni wangapi tunaongea kwa barabara? Wangapi tunaongea kwa most of the time I think my pressure by walking and talking to myself. Nikipiga kusoma, actually ukinipita vibaya kwa barabara tunaanza kusana. Na hujafanya makosa. Praise the Lord. But we need to channel that energy to something else. Praise Jesus. We need to turn to God and first accept yourself. Because some pressure we are having as young people ni mali umetoka. Hakuna pesa. Ati nguo zenye unavalia hazifanani na marafiki zako. Ati huwezi enda tao venye wanaenda. Menu yako ni tofauti na huwezi afford food unakula. Huwezi afford places unakaa. That pressure is there as young people because we have a sense of belonging. Hata mimi mali niko. You think I'm okay? No. I work with guys who woke up and there was a car in their parking lot. They drive to work, I walk to work. We pay the same salary. They expect me to live their standards. Sidio? The same way. You walk into university, unatoka Kabonzweni. There's a place I went in Rhode Island, it's called, I forgot the name. It is so far from Kisii, it is 5 hours. You come from there and you come to Kisii and guys are looking nice and easy go kwanza linatolewa kwa wale. Sababu hata hujui maaniza. Such pressure, just fast, accept who you are. And because the Bible again says it is God who blesses people into family. It is He who puts you in a family. Praise Jesus. First accept that it is He who has blessed you there. Then pressure yako utapata inaisha. By the way, niwaambie, wase wenye tulikuja nao hapa si wenye tulikuwa washamba. You should meet them today. I remember 2 guys, she knows them. Am I supposed to mention their names? No, they are good guys, they won't kill me for that. You know a boy. We used to call him a boy Ekokola from Emuaya. Then there was Patrick Kangala, the pastor of Sitam. He's a pastor in Sitam Go. Walikuja campus na anajua mnulia typical ya packet haiwezi fanya nini? Hiyo ni breakfast. Alikuwa anaanza kusiaga mwendo. Hapo anarudi na boga. Don't feel bad because of who you are. That is you. Embrace the character and accept to change gradually. Praise Jesus. The last thing, the word of God. It is never wrong. Though most of times when you're under stress, it doesn't make sense. Kabisa, mtu anamsomea wazi na mwangalia unakuta sasa wewe uko na shida gani? And we brothers are that problem. Praise God. Amen. When you come to my class and I'm crying, don't read me the Bible. As much as I know what it says, because the pain I have at that moment, it is so much. And you can just let me cry first. Then read that. So I think the last thing that you need to do, you need to continually, you see, continually read the Bible today when you're okay, and then when you're problems. Because the things that you do today when you're okay will comfort you then in depression. And they will make sense. Praise Jesus. Because over and above all, God says that He's in control of all things. And have you ever sat down and thought, hiyo pesa yenye huku bana ni Mungu alimea kusipata. Watu wengine hapa hawajapewa pesa sababu mkipewa pesa mtasumbua. So don't be stressed about money. Sometimes God allows you to be a little bit broke so that when He gives you a few millions, you will know how to be humble. And some of us are given a lot right now. God takes it away for us to learn how to be down there, then brings it. So the entire thing is, in depression and all that, pray, worship. Do not forsake the community of believers and fellowship. Praise the Lord. Always find someone to talk to. Examine the real cause of your problem. Wacha kushinda hapo mtuambie uko sawa. Na uliacha jana, unataka kusimama. Kuja tu niambie Bwana, jana niliachwa. Sawa sawa. Then life will. Sawa sawa. I say, that is not serious as it looks. Because anyway, if you wake up and you don't do a thing, tomorrow will come and you have to leave tomorrow. And you can't live for tomorrow if you are so depressed about it. Sawa sawa. And let us read up. Let me say, forgive me for saying this, but let us stop doing stupid things today that will cost us tomorrow. I know most of you are bad people who are fees. And you see, you've seated from that end. My own sister, I told her, I paid my fees for my own sister, 34,000. I used it and I was already working in the bank. Then after 1 week, I'm called by my brother to India. Adafanya fees, sababu alikula fees. What do you do? I don't What I did, I told my mom, I remember I told my mom, naomba niko na pesa, lakini I discontinue hiyo university, akae nyumbani mwaka mmoja, atafute hiyo pesa yenye alikula na arudi shuleni. I was called on Monday and I went off until Thursday because I was doing sales. Do you know how hard it is to convince you to take money that you don't want? You always think working in the bank is simple, but I'm supposed to come to you to tell you that I have money that I want to give you, na wewe mwenyewe hutaki pesa. When you realize I am your brother here, you cannot do anything to take me out of Kisii University. Hata ukinikasirikia ni wewe utabaki. By the way, don't be mad because I have something or because I have done something. Maybe I don't even recognize I did it in the first place. Ati unakosana demu yako sababu acha nisiende huko. Now, let me come back to this one. Because I know you want me to go there, but I won't go there. So the thing is, in everything that happens, when you're in that when you're feeling like nothing is really happening. Imagine you are not right enough because I'm in town and you're not coming to me. Who told you I don't have money to give you? And who told us to do that in our house? We don't have a house to accommodate you. Where is Jesus? Oh, what you need is to preach. Depression is not biblical. It is not even anywhere in the Bible. Praise God. Stress is not. How many of us have seen stress in the Bible? Maybe I'm a bad Bible scholar. Bishop. Umeona kwa Biblia? Umeona depression kwa Biblia? Imagine the things that disturb us as young people. Even venting is not in the Bible. Imagine. And the things that disturb us are things that are not even in. Praise God. Think about that. 90% of the things that give us pressure and depression and all those things, there are things that are beyond our control. Praise God. And I think nowadays she's getting mad with me because I don't take anything seriously. Why? Because kama God alileta, si ndio? Ata provide njia ya kufanya. Mbona nikune kichwa? Si ningoje tu anipe njia ya kuisort. Si ndio? So if he has not given you money today, that doesn't mean that he's not going to give you. Just need to be a little bit patient. Sawa sawa. Kama unafuda imaanisha ikuji, itakama. But kwa?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Kafila. Yeah.
Sasa tunaingia kwa relationship. There is one thing. There is one thing that I can make all mistakes, any kind of mistake, but God should never allow me to make a mistake in choosing my life partner. Because this person, I am sure nitakaa na yeye I'm grateful for that. And so Mr. Theophilus. So, Mr. Theophilus. Nani aliona mwingine?
And I've also been for the idea that Madam Dwajikubali.
Now, the first time we met with Theophilus was 2013. 2013, the first time, then 2014. 2014, we did a lot of missions together. It happened that we fellowship together at MCC. But given that I was that person, wakisema grace, iko kwa barabara. May the grace, iko hapo kwa mlango. By the time wanafika fellowship, I've left. So we could go to missions, but I was that, having been brought up in that village, kuna vile unamuelewa Mungu, yani. It was not so serious to my standard. Yeah, kwa standard yangu hakuwa so serious. So at that time, I was like, kuna watu wengine wanasumbua mwili. So, as much as we do missions together, but at that time, we lost contact for almost a year. We reconnected again when I was fundraising for the hostel bill. So at that time, I believe there were 3 guys, and they were like, nabajini Naomi aliendaga wapi? Na wakaongea, they agreed, they contributed for my hostel bill, nikatibiwa, I came back. We were good friends, very good friends, but at no point, any of us thought that we could get into this team. Then after a long time, when it came up, by the way, hata sikuamini, like, of all the people, ile heshima ya elder brother, like, we are friends, good friends. So it came up, and you can be sure the response he got for me, it was not good, you know. Having gone through that process, na majibu ni kama ninakuanga nayo hapa karibu, yani ready made. I didn't expect him to come back to my house the following day. You know, at that time when he was doing all those things, like coming to help me, store, we were just good friends. And at no point, usually fikiria that we could get into this thing. So I didn't expect him the following day, and I knew Akuji, like, the answer was good. But I was surprised the following day he came, and I asked, the first question was like, by the way, nini mbaya na wewe? Like, he assumed all those things, and akanipa muda, I collected, like, after 2 months, tuliongelea hiyo story tena. I don't know what happened, but somehow life happened.
So, ukiwekwa brozon, usitupe moyo.
But we are not satisfied.
I think I like to talk when I'm standing. I don't know why. Well, I don't talk a lot normally because I sit in a place where so life is not as serious as it looks. But every time on me, this lady you see here, one, she has not told you the entire story. She was a CU man in Masai University. The vice chair of the CU. Me around here, I was one of the most less serious people. Not because I wasn't born again. I was born again. My life is not serious as it is. Being in Christianity is a place to call it home. It's a place to enjoy. Ni place ya kujibamba. Hii kazi ya ulizo kukaa kama wamenyeshewa na how to say, when you go back to the mission, we went from here to Malawi. Then you want us to discuss the Bible from here to how many can accept that? Hapo kwa bwana hii no mkono. So this is mission. So Maseno University CU is it's that kind of. How many know the Orthodox churches? Za Mutaratara. Unazijua? Yes. That was Maseno University CU then. Their most serious person was David Degerege. And when David Degerege came here, he was too serious to fit in the CU. Praise Jesus. And so I was like, nilimwona lakini Hiyo jibu. Ushajibiwa ukaenda nyumbani kusema sawa. The thing is, 90% of the time she was my friend, there was nothing to do about it. Anyway, amesema la. Kwa hivyo amekataa, kwa hivyo labda si yeye. Labda kuna mwingine. Bwana sifiwe. So, throughout my life I've learned something. Every person who passes into your life is not there as your lover. Praise God. Actually, I want really to discourage you. I'm going to tell you something very bad. We did an analysis with her yesterday night. Today morning, today morning. And I asked her, you have been in campus from 2010 to 2014. And saa hii umetoka umefanya kazi. Tell me one couple that you have ever had or no. So, who started to date in first year? Umepata wangapi?
There were two.
Praise God. I told you I'm going to discourage you. So the probability that the person you are dating today is going to be your wife. Do you know what? She has dated before me. Several guys. So, I'm not saying you date several guys. One thing I can tell you, they are all our friends to date.
Friends.
No? Friends, like real friends. She knows where they are, what they do, whether they are sick or not. She knows their wives or their husbands. Why? Because if I cannot be your friend, I can't date you. Tuzidanganyani. So if the person you have today is not your friend, tukitoka pale ile muone, muachane kwa wale kuwa marafiki. Sababu gani? You have ministries and departments. So tukikosana ne kesho akipresent worship ile ndio sababu tukikosana. I'm saying this out of my own experience. I've dated some people around, not few actually. Very little. I was a very straight guy. But all the people I dated, one of my friends, then after dating, then after school. Why? Because we served together in the same. So in our channel, I was the chief usher. Nawachana saa so Monday uko sajini ukiosha na saa 2 ameingia hapo mchapo na hao. Lazima mchapo vector stara. Hii ibada hii utafanya ibada kama mkasirika. Why? One thing I want to encourage all of us is we need to accept this generation. Kwamba kuachwa ni kitu ya kawaida. Sawa. Ukiwacha kusikia tu ni kitu kile tafikiria kao, ndio kabisa. Maliza kuja kujani. Huduma ile. So I was back also. So when she was asking us, I was like, But I was like, you can't tell me no, and I walk away. Tell me, no, niende nifike hapo. Why? I sell loans for a living. So the people I sell loans to, I walk to the office to pay, they chase me and I say, treasure me. And I'm going to pay. So I come, you say no, I walk out. Tomorrow I come back, you do your copper. Kesho, remember, by the way, you get why? You just need to be sure that whatever you drink is the right thing. When all these things are happening, don't forget you are a Christian. So, but you are a Christian who is a human being. Yes. Uko na mafeelings unajua?
Yeah. Praise God. Kama we have crashes, uko na crash hapa. I want to ask one question that almost everyone asks. Is it true that love at first sight exists? Love at first sight. Yaani unakutana tu na mtu unasema ndio huyu.
Yeah, to me, no, that is to me. I was so radical by the way I've changed after interacting with less serious people like him. So I've changed by the way I was so serious with life. Nilikuwa nimeweza kuingia. Hizi ndio niliacha. Because I realized I was becoming religious. Like I had an answer for every question and it's scriptural and I could defend it in favor of. I know some of us powerful. So it doesn't exist. Why? He's talked about friendship. I think friendship is very important. The truth is, love will die. The only thing that can sustain you is friendship. If he's your friend, he will stand the test of time. Lakini kama ni feelings, they will come and na ndio maana leo utapata umeangalia huyu ukampenda, kesho kutwa the same person you told that I love you, hiyo word itatoka, ile itatoka ni I hate you. Alafu utapata mwingine mwambie I love you. So you continue loving after every week because it's feeling. But friendship is the key. Why? When somebody is your friend, hata feature vitu mingi, lakini mkianza kudate, hautawahi kujua huyo mtu. They know how to act and they know how to act. That is the reality. Men know to act and ladies were the best actors. But you can only know who he is if you are friends first. Because at that time you can show him to by the way umeenda chakula, like mmeenda naitonga hike. Nimeona vile amekamata hiyo. Utamwelewa. Ukimwambia umesota vile atakujibu utamwelewa. But once you begin dating, atakopa mshwari Tala branch to make you happy. So you will never know. So friendship is key. So to me, love at first sight.
What do you have to say about it?
Unajua? By the way, let me be honest with you. I have stories. The one thing she has never done. Should I tell her? Yes. She does not remember the first time we met. I am sure. But I remember the first time we met. And I remember every other subsequent time we met after. Ukikutana na mtu na uko like, usimwambie kitu, unamuona tu unasema. Unaenda zako. Sawa sawa. There's a time came to tukiwa na basi. Basi. Mshaenda place mkaongea, mkamaliza then Rasha is there. Hao vijana, kuna mtu wako na jambo hapo. But at that moment, I think with some other guys, that woman was like, I can feel the spirit telling me. you see the thing is that love at first sight exists, but you need to give it time to grow. Sawa sawa. Usiende kuvukuta moto yenye uko tayari kuona. Naanza kuchoma ukimbia. Sawa sawa. So if you see a person and you admire them and you like them, hata hujamuuliza kama wana jamaa. Sawa sawa. Unaweza wewe useme ndio huyu na kuamilia kwa na upata kwa ndio utafanya nini?
Hello. Utafanya nini?
I was talking from the ladies' perspective. I believe ladies can bear witness with me.
Yes.
Don't have a ladies. Does it exist? No. For ladies?
Now what we are not going to take this one lying down. Now, let us be. Let's be very big. Sawa sawa. No, I understand you. Usimuze watu moyo. Mtu kwamba na ameona. Well, the thing is that, you see, when you meet me throughout the week, I'm that guy who was a very clean shot. When I good time, and I mean good, very smartly dressed. You will never think that I put on jeans and sneakers. You will never think of that, because that is the person that you meet in the week, and you like that. So, the thing is that what you see at the first sight, it is not what it is always. So, that's why I say love at first sight. Yes, it might exist, and it does exist. But most of us, to see what is really behind the veil, unahitaji repair time. You see, I often say in Nairobi, meet person dressed very well, get to their house, you run away. Unaingia kwa mlango unakutana na socks na sufuria. Shika socks na sufuria kwa ndani. So it does exist, but don't write it. I say this. In love and relationship, we don't have our own man, and we don't have experts. Sawa sawa. And you can never be too mature for that. Sawa sawa. Hakunanga degree ya maturity. Sawa. So never write off any. Kuna watu wanakutananga leo wakiangaliana hivyo wako pamoja. The next time unasikia ni harusi. Alright. Mulikuwa serious. Sawa sawa. It has happened. There is a couple who are married today. They met the first date. They came to this university. They before orientation. Before admission. Ndio time mko mkipangaiza. Before admission yana. Walikutania hapa. Na leo ndio harusi yao. Na leo wako. So nilisema unaweza kuwa mmoja katikati ya una hope.
Now, I have this. Ulienda ukajaribu bahati yako ukaambiwa no, nakutana na capital N O. So apart from maombi, unaweza kuomba, apart from prayers, Mr. Teofilus, I'll start with you. Apart from prayers, how else can you know ni yeye? Unaweza enda labda si yeye. Wewe umekuta N kwa mlango. Apart from maombi, how other ways can you know that this is the right person for you?
Praise God. I think I started by giving a very big disclaimer by saying the person you are with today, you cannot guarantee me. No matter how many promises you make to each other, no matter whether you're going to make a vow of blood or not. Sawa sawa. I just want us to be real. And I start by asking you this. The person, if you love somebody today, is that the person you loved in the first place? Wacha kuficha, tunajua. You just know you like so and so, mlikuwa pamoja mkawachana leo kuna plani. Sawa sawa. just happens in brothers. Don't think it happens outside there. The problem with us Christians is that you are always afraid of what we are going to say about you. Ati Ebeneza hapa anaogopa wakiachana tutasema. Acha kujali, wachaneni tutaongea after hivi. Sawa sawa. There is nothing as sweet as you as a Christian coming to the fellowship and saying, you guys know that we are together, but we are called it quits. From now on forth, hatuko pamoja. Sawa sawa. You can either decide to die or we will either now. How do you really know that they are the one? I put myself in that generation because I have a friend of mine who committed suicide the other day. Same age as me. So, we live in a generation of possession. Inyeshe isinyeshe, tuko pamoja hapa kwa hapa, sawa sawa. You don't possess anyone in the first place. Again, this person you are possessing might not even be interested in you. So how do you know really they are the one? I can say this. There just comes a time in life when those of you have checklists, which you should throw away anyway, you take it checklist yote imeisha, hakuna kitu unatafuta hiyo upate. But there is that time that you feel inside you, this is the right person, without fear or doubt. Na unaanza kuambia baba, pekee mzae. Nimeamua ni huyu. The person you have today, can you take to your father? Yes. This is the question. Think about this. The person you have today, can you take to your father? And the person you have today, this is the question your father will ask you. Will I pay fees for you? Ama nitapokea mali? There is again the right time to do. The Bible says that there is the right time for everything. Na niuliza nilijuaje kama ni yeye? Nilijua. Nitakataje kujua? Why she fits what I was looking for? Sawa sawa. I did not have a checklist because she will never be too perfect for me. She will not fit in my classification of things. There are things she is too way off, and there are sometimes that are too way off. Unaangalia mahali yako na mahali unaniuliza mahali. See, the thing is that it's a time you are like, these ones I'm okay, these ones I'm willing to compromise to face from. So. But also it has to be a person who is willing to sit down and go. So. There is, right now if you come in second year and you tell me you want to have a wedding, I have a problem. You know why? Who pays your bills? So, then why are you telling me you want to get married? You don't want to. You're not discouraging us. You're just being real. So, and again, something that I want to be very real with each and every one of us, I'm telling you is, I'll say next time. Wait.
Yeah, maybe you can get it from the congregation.
Okay, praise God. Yeah, you know, if you are single, I think you just first, just understand Listen, you know, singleness is a gift from God. Come on.
Whether you're in a relationship, whether you are single, whether you are single in experience, whether you have a crush. Now, what are some of the pitfalls or the things to avoid in pursuing what you're pursuing right now? That is, it is open, right? To the single. What are some of the things that you should avoid so that you also pursue righteousness in your singlehood? To those who are, I had someone say in a relationship, introduce. To those who are in a relationship, what are some of the things that you should avoid, some of the pitfalls that you should avoid when pursuing righteousness when still you are in a relationship? Let me get some two answers, then we can conclude with our panelists here. One from the single, one from the relationship, one from the experience. Young men, a man unawakisha dim light, but ukiwakisha dim light, mwenye unawakishia anataka kuweka floodlight. It most happens, If you are single, maximize on it. Ukiwakisha light kidogo, wewe unaweza fikiri unajaribu kushtua kuna mwenye ako na ignition atafanya starting. Yeah, yeah.
Something has to be done. Just do it. Acha kushinda tukibembelezana. Kama unataka kufanya, can do. And being the chief usher, then we did not have a guest room. So everything about the scene was happening in my house. Cooking was in my house. Eating was in her house. Until a point that I used to say, but CBD iko. There's an hostel called Neptune 17. And for the longest time, that was my room. I stopped closing my room because every usher had access to my room. And because of that, there's a semester we spent 17 kgs of sugar. Because mtu angeingia tu na mandazi. Na kuja kunywa chai na. Because they knew the guy used to stay with, we were open. Why should you sleep hungry and I have sugar? There's no reason. Right? Because of that, there are around 10 ladies who thought that I should be a good boyfriend. But I said nothing about it because I was not interested in relationships. And you just need your... Don't think being single it's not a curse, it's not bad, it's something good. Why? It's just a time that you need to grow and realize yourself. It's a time you want you to be what you are. Don't carve into pressure just because your friend has a relationship. Hiyo ni ujinga. Sawa. And when we are Christians, I think we say we should not do some words. I can tell you stupid is an abusive word, but also as a statement of fact. Sawa. So ni kuambia wachana na ujinga is a statement of we don't debate about it. Sawa. So, in such a case, just be yourself. It's a no, just ambia watu tafadhali, wache kusumbuana. Do not imply something to somebody which you don't mean it. Sawa. One of the people who thought alikuja kwa nyumba yake, na inakaa kwa nyumba yake siku mingi, na alimwambia vitu. Ukasikia vitu zenye aliambiwa, hata utakaa ushangae. I'm talking about the safety of feelings that I know. Honestly, that's one of them. So don't feel the pressure of being in a relationship or being single. Both items are okay, and I would really prefer if you are single. Why? No one expects anything from you. Right, James? We're not looking at you like, ndio walilala wapi. Ndio masaa wamekaa kwa hiyo room mingi. Naona jana walishikana mikono. We are Christians, that's what we do. Sawa. And we are going to get a judgment because we complete so many things on our own, and they end up affecting the other people. So, also do not allow usivukute moto ya hii kitu na uko tayari kufanya nini? Itakuumiza. Wachana nayo. Nataka tukue watu wanaoishi maisha ya ukweli. If it's not working, it's not working. There's nothing wrong with that. There are guys who stay single throughout their life in campus. And one thing I comfortably do, ninaweza toka Kisii niende Karatina kwa harusi because you have been a faithful person. I have severally done that. Tutachoma hiyo mafuta yote kwa gari na tutaenda na truck because we are celebrating what the Lord has done. At the end of the day, the thing about being Christian is us celebrating the Lord in our life. If whatever you're doing today doesn't portray the image of God in it, then why are you doing it? Praise God. Number 2 on that one. I'm still outside there. That means I'm a Kenyan citizen and the government expects me to be responsible. Please and please and please, we are friends. I think I was talking to a presenter in Milele when this was she was telling me. She's tired of reading news. Why? Every day she walks into the studio and I do a script. And she's like, a student kills the girlfriend. She starts the girlfriend. She's like, what is happening today in this generation? By the way, let me tell you, when I woke up, I expect my sister to walk back from school without fail. And if somebody happened to that guy, I'll tell you, I'll come look for him personally. Sitangojea mzaya kuja kutafuta. Sawa sawa? Killing yourself is the most stupid and the most coward way and the most hypocritical way of dealing with. Sawa sawa? If you wake up one day and you feel you're feeling suicidal, call me. I'll come and meet you. And I'll accommodate you in my house until the day that you wake up and feel you are good to come back. Why? I really appreciate it when I walk into Nairobi and I walk to Attorney General's office and I find my friends seated there. Because my things get sorted. 90% of the guys I used to be in campus and school together with, if they have an issue in cooperative bank, they know if your figures works in cooperative bank, you make a call, I sort your issue, you don't need to walk into them. I need you to grow to be the man that God created you to be. Don't take out your life because it is not yet done. We are not, you might be done working with yourself. That is your problem. We are not done with you. So why do you want to take yourself out of our life? Praise God. So if the guys we live with around, please. When I was in first year, after Kayole, the other one's down there. The thing is, it pains us outside there, knowing that these are things that you could have just said and it's done. Akikuacha leo, shukuru Mungu amen. Kuna mwingine, nikuulize, I don't know about the lady you see in this film. Are you trying to tell me that one yenye uko nayo ndiye huyo? Kwani macho yako yamefunga? Praise God. I just love being very tafadhali. This from me to you with a lot of love and sin. Please and please. I'm not saying it is one amongst you, but it is happening in the environment around us. Sawa. Just akikuacha wachana naye. Utapata mwingine na maisha ita. Actually, let me tell you, when you finish school, unagongana na maisha chenye unaona inabadilika. Why? It is not what follows you. Because most of you will see me go out and come back in a car. Do you know I have worked for that bank for, I started working in 2013. What is the date today? How many years are those? 6 years, and I've still not bought a car. So I buy a car tomorrow and you think just because you are less school you're supposed to drive a car like I do. What I say? How do you kukimbizana na kanjo ya Nairobi kwenye Kongo? Sawa. So stop admiring something that the guys are working hard because they have really put a lot of work in it. Sawa. So we love you so much. We would really love, I would really love to have my own company and employ a student. I would really love a student to come to our house and stay for 1 week to see just how we live. For you not to look at us in these good clothes and think we look like that every day. So, we fight every day. Most times than never, I am mad at her for something I don't even do. Hata leo asubuhi nimejivaa nimekasirika, sababu nataka kuchukua simu yangu. Sawa. So, the last thing, which is actually the last thing about when you find you're getting depressed, I really want us to assist each other in this. Us as Christian Union members, the university administration is looking up to be the most outstanding students that the university has. So, I really feel good wakati naambiwa kuna cultural week and it is a joint fellowship. And the scene is different. Do you know how proud it becomes? It's a very proud thing. And when you invite people from outside, they come back with a lot of confidence because they know that a people are doing something inside there. And that alone gives you respect in the university. So, the reason why you find there's an association called ASA and the Scouts, the reason why the university will favor them over you is because they are better outstanding students. Not in terms of being a Christian. Being a Christian is not something to get favor from the admin. So, but we need to be the people that God has created us to be, that one grant us favor with the city. The last thing, if you are in depression, please and please, try to look for the behaviors in your friend. If I wake up and this guy stops calling me, and we used to talk, I should get concerned. Why is he not talking to me? One young connection again. You see somebody change abruptly. Alikuwa anakuja church all of a sudden, ameacha kukuja. Start looking for what is happening behind the scenes, because that is what is driving you into depression and driving you to having a lot of problems. So let us be our brothers. Let us enjoy the fellowship with one another with a lot of fun. Ukikosa class, tell mwenzako notes. Na wengine wetu wanapenda kusoma. God loves us too. Praise God. So, let us be our brothers keepers. Let us enjoy the fellowship. Amen. One last thing. I remember one last thing. Every time I one last thing. For the men around. For the men around. How many of you are men? How many of you are men? If you have time this afternoon, rest God. If you're a man and you have time this afternoon, find yourself to MCCTC or Pastor Elisha. There's a conference going on called Man in Love. You are a man, but are you a man enough? Praise God. Wenda kau because afya ni kuenda kutumia. Now, so if you have time, find yourself there and let us build. Let us do
Here, one word of conclusion from Madam.
Praise God. Three things very quickly. One, my dear sisters and brothers in first year and second year, know the responsibility ahead of you before you fix yourself in a relationship, because it's also another hard work. You are the firstborn, know the responsibility behind you. Stop getting yourself into another stress that you cannot handle. So evaluate yourself, know who you are, know what you want, know what lies ahead of you before you commit yourself. Number two, there's one thing that we have embedded that is in the church. Drug. We have talked about suicide, but drug and substance abuse, we have not talked about it. But kindly find the best way to handle your stresses. God created you for a purpose. He allows you to go through some things for a purpose. For me, all the process I've undergone through, all the challenges, they were enabling me to mature. I mature at a very young age because of what I went I thank God because I can stand comfortably as a counselor in my school and help my students through my experiences. Where else could I have gotten the experience of helping the 2,000 students in my hands if I didn't go to the same? So always view what you're going to do from a positive angle. Know that you are a human being. There is somebody who owns your life. There is somebody who, you are a project of God. And being a project of God is looking up to you to ensure that you come out to that which He really wanted you to be. Lastly, my parting thought, Colossians chapter 2, verse 7, 6, 7, the Bible says, so then, just as you received Christ Jesus as Lord, continue to live your lives in Him, rooted and built up in Him, strengthened in the faith as you are taught, and overflowing in thankfulness. So as you are a class pastor, know that you are representing God, and your purpose should be to be translated into the image of Jesus Christ. The question is, if God comes today and asks you, are you representing me well? You'll be telling your classmates arrogant. You'll be telling them. So it's a challenge to us. So ours should be to be fully rooted. As we are rooted, then we'll help others to be translated into the image of our Son Jesus Christ. Finally, you still have a long way. Maisha iko. Haya mambo yatakuja. Take your time. So, take your time. Time is the test of everything. If that thing which you want stands the test of time, then that is it. Don't lose it at this time. So, God bless you. God be good.